Okay, a little bit of a movie here on the Reef project I'm working on. Start off, we got a closet here basically that was a coat room, and this is where I house all the controls and the automation for the Reef. This is a couple of cabinets I got off eBay. Turn on the lights here a little bit. This is controlled by a Direct Logic 205 with a slave. There's a lot of inputs and outputs with this, and basically just relay driven with some RTD circuits, which are for temperatures, and analog, which I have for power consumption, as well as a water change system, which I'll show you here in a minute. I've got two pH controllers, which are back here. One's going to be for the calcium reactor, and one's going to be for the tank. It'll be set up on a couple of parameters to control that. There's a CO2 for the calcium reactor, and some more relays for some of the other system, water change, and the wave making stuff. It interfaces the PLC with a Pentium PC. And this here is just showing you the ladder programming software for the PLC. It's free from Automation Direct, real easy to use, and very user friendly. And this is Peak HMI, it's called. It's a software where you can build interfaces, and this is what I've been working on here. This system will have two IP cameras. One's going to be on the outside, which you can see here, and then the other one is going to be on the inside, and it'll be on a linear, it's not hooked up properly right now. It'll be on a linear bearing, which you'll be able to see inside to check on things when I'm away. I got some the pH control here. Here's for the power consumption, which is a couple CTs through an analog circuit. Some temp trend, which measures the hood temp, the tank, the ambient temp inside the cabinet, and then of course outdoor temp, just for reference. And these are some interface with the heaters, chillers, things of that nature. Here's my wave control, which is kind of simulating all the pumps that are in the tank. It's on a 3,550 second cycle, and it oscillates between that. You can shut it off. It also has a feed function as well. And the water change, which I'll show you in a minute here. These are hooked up on some analog float valves, which I have scaled to measure the exact amount of water that are in the purge tanks, which takes the old salt water out of the tank, and the fresh salt water, which will put back into the Reef. Moving on here, this is the main tank, which is just right next to the controller. Got an ETS 1000. It'll be powered by a couple of one dart pump. Got two dart pumps. One will be for the return and the rest of the system. And of course I got an MRC calcium reactor. Everything except for the calcium reactor, the skimmer, and the tank is all built. I built every bit of it here, and all the automation stuff, pretty much. I bought some stuff new, but most of it was from eBay. Here you got an e-stop circuit with a reset, and there's cabinet lights I have for just servicing. Turn them on and off. You can also turn them on and off from the PC as well. Of course, here's the tank. It came from Michigan, and did a great job. There's two sides that are Starfire, which means it's a low iron glass, and it's very clear. It's kind of, you know, fingerprinted up now. We just put it up there the other day. The lights are, right now, it's up there is 3 halides. There's two 400s, and they're a 20K bulb, and the middle bulb is a 250 watt with a 10K bulb. Later on I'm going to, right now I'm getting some fins machined for some two 20-watt actinics that'll be for sunrise. And that'll be, I don't know if I'm going to water cool this or somehow fans. I don't really like fans because of the noise. I want to keep the noise down in here. Moving on here. Up here I'll show you the water change. This is kind of a workshop I got here. I'm building a CNC router. That's where that'll be. And right here's the halide. I just basically got 3 PFO lights and tore them apart and put them on this aluminum heatsink, and it does a real good job of keeping the heat away, and plus it's not out in the main tank room building up a bunch of heat. Here's some power supplies. These 2 power supplies are for the IP cameras. Some Ethernet, and it got its own breaker. It's not hooked up yet. We're just kind of temporarily using power here. A couple J boxes for the wiring when there's troubleshooting to be done. And this is the, I don't want to do that, the water change station, which is 2 17-gallon, I guess, totes is what you call them. And there'll be some solenoid valves. You can see, you know, there's some of that there in the pump. It's not built yet, but it will be. And a touch screen for some interface. And basically it'll be just push a button and it'll change out the percentage you want it to. And these are the float valves I was talking about before, which are scaled through some mathematical software interface there, and away you go. And well, this is what I got so far, and that's about it. So thanks for watching, and have a pleasant evening.